Gomadi, let us start. You will come.
Yes, sir. A very good evening, everyone. Respected dignitaries and participants. And education is the key to unlock the world, a passport to freedom. On this wonderful occasion of International Day of Education 2022, it gives me an immense pleasure to welcome everyone on behalf of Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology. I heartily welcome our Honorable Member Secretary, Dr. R. Srinivasan sir, who has been the driving force and motivation behind organizing such a wonderful event on this special.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Now. Gomadi, any problem?
Network issue, sir. Shall I start over, sir? Not sure whether.
I think some network problem with you.
Now it's good, sir. Now network is good. Once again, respected dignitaries and participants, I welcome you all. A very good morning, everyone. Education is a key to unlock the passport, unlock
ஏமா நான் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிட்டுமா? நீங்க வெல்கம்.
Okay, sir. Network glitches இருக்கு.
Okay. I will take care.
Over to you, sir.
Respected today's speakers, am I audible?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Respected today's speakers, my dear participants and colleagues, good evening to all. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, Nelson Mandela. Education is the key to open all the doors towards progress and growth. Nurturing young minds and giving them ample opportunities to flourish is a key role of all the educational institutions. Today we have with us our esteemed speakers from prestigious institutions, Mother Teresa Women's University and Alagappa University, which carry out this job wonderfully, attempting to create a benchmark for educational excellence. Dr. Usha Raja Nandini has a vast experience in various facets of education at the levels of teaching, research, administration, etc. She has held numerous responsibilities such as coordinator of IPR cell, NAC, RUSA, NSS, etc. She has received Young Scientist Award and Outstanding Faculty Award. She is vibrantly working with various research projects funded by DST, Technology Development Transfer, DST, State Science and Technology Projects, and our council. And she has involved actively to get GI registration for Kodaikanal Malaipundu and Udankudi Panangarupatti in association with the council. And very specifically, I want to tell, normally for getting GI, it requires 4 years, 5 years, and even 8 years. But for particular this Kodaikanal Malaipundu, within span of 8 months, we could achieve this GI registration only because of the scientist Dr. Usha Raja Nandini. And for Udankudi Karupatti also, last year we have lodged this application for patent office. With even the COVID period, she has done a lot of work with our council members. We have submitted, and anytime we will get it. Not only by getting GI registration, but also further to take up that particular cultivators and for their livelihood improvement. She is taking a lot of steps with the council. And Kodaikanal Mother Teresa University Vice Chancellor and other people, they are all taking up this task, and definitely it will give you a fruitful result in a couple of months and so. Professor C. Vedirajan has over 25 years of teaching and research experience in the field of commerce and management. He has received various awards such as UGC Research Award, Bharat Jyoti Award, MTC Global Excellence Award, and Global Lifetime Achievement Award in recognition of his outstanding achievements and academic contributions. We are honored to have such eminent speakers to address the gathering during this occasion of International Day of Education 2022. Education is the key to charting the course towards more justice and sustainability, but it is failing millions of children, youth, and adults, increasing their exposure to poverty, violence, and exploitation. The COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated a pre-existing education crisis. Reliance on digital technology for learning has deepened exclusion and gender inequalities. Without remedial action, better support to teachers, and increased financing, learning losses and school dropout will continue to rise, reversing progress towards all the sustainable development goals and depriving youth of a future of dignity and opportunity. As a whole, world moves in a fast pace by means of globalization, liberalization, and modernization. It is crucial that we have a strong and energetic faculty community who would play a key role in the progress of our nation. Apart from curriculum, teachers have the responsibility to impart human values and enhance the qualities of the students such as discipline, humility, self-confidence, focused mind, perseverance, etc., which will help them tremendously to reach great heights in their lives. The institutions can achieve this by incorporating new initiatives through its innovative learning methodologies and corporate-based training for helping students follow their passion, explore and challenge themselves by providing avenues that will improve their technical, entrepreneurial, and leadership skills. I am confident that today's event will be a platform to showcase the most important transformations that have to be nurtured to realize everyone's fundamental right to education and to build more sustainable, inclusive, and peaceful future. கேரில் விழுச்செல்வம் கல்வி ஒருவருக்கு மாடல்ல மற்றையவை. ஒருவனுக்கு அறிவு இல்லாத சிறந்த செல்வம் கல்வியே ஆகும். கல்வியை தவிர மற்ற பொருட்கள் அத்தகைய சிறப்புடைய செல்வம் அல்ல. I conclude this திருக்குறள் and I wish a grand success of this event. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir. Now I take the privilege of introducing our speaker, Dr. Usha Rajamandri Madam, who is actually a woman of virtue and simplicity, such a cheerful personality, who has been kind enough to take her time to grace this occasion. Madam has vast experience in both academic research as well as in administration rules, and she has published more than 50 papers, 6 books she has published, and she has completed a PhD thesis of 4 research scholars, and she has been vibrantly working on various research projects funded by DST, TDP, DST SSTP, and TNSCST as well. And she has 2 patents applied, which is in the process. And she has been awarded with the Young Scientist Award from Karunya Institute of Technology. And she has been awarded.
So thank you, Gomati.
I will.
Shall I start?
A while, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we are happy to have you here. Over to you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Dr. Usha Rajamandri, you can start. You can take this.
கேக்குதா பேசுறது?
கேக்குது.
Audible, ma'am.
கேக்கலையா?
கேக்குது, பட் உங்க இதுவும் கொஞ்சம் போரா இருக்கு.
இங்கெல்லாம் கேட்கலையா? அவங்க பேசுறதெல்லாம் கேட்கல.
Usha Rajamandri, you have some problem in the network.
வீடியோ வருது. பேசுங்க. Okay. So shall I start?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. Okay. Very good evening to one and all present in this forum. And before starting, I would like to thank Dr. R. Srinivasan sir, Member Secretary of Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, for providing me this opportunity to share my views and ideas on this wonderful day on the topic education brings opportunity to make a difference. Thank you, sir. So good evening once again to all the participants present over here.
Yes, good evening.
Yes. So let me start with a small example. So I had a friend from southern part of Tamil Nadu, from economically very poor community. So they are from pottery making community. So he did his PhD in microbiology. So actually he selected his PhD in such a way that he found which organisms are responsible for giving good soil composition to make good quality pots. So which microbes play a vital role in pottery. So this was his PhD work. But while he was doing his PhD or pursuing his master's, actually he was from very poor background and he had only two dresses and he used to just change those two dresses, and we could, by his appearance itself, we can identify he's from a very poor, economically poor community. And later on, after completing his PhD, he went abroad, working in a abroad university, and now actually he comes back for in every couple of months he comes to India, registers a property and leave. So now he has a huge wealth here and he has started a trust too, and everything is changed now. His status and everything is changed, and um, his identity in the society is also changed. So like this, we'll have many examples throughout the country, and mostly non-resident Indians, they become non-returning Indians too. So this all we know. Education has given self-realization, status of life, knowledge to know the world opportunities, world culture, etc., etc. So this all we know. Actually, so because of this, so everyone will say, so if we are educated, we will have this all changes. We can realize ourselves, the society, the status will change, the knowledge level will change. So this all we will know. We know that because of this, education is vital and is very important. We have to educate our generations. So this all we know. But in today's scenario, opportunities education can bring to a country is very, very important, and it is going to make a difference. It's different, entirely different. So I'm going to talk an entirely different perspective, so which everyone have to know. And for this, we have to start from our ancient history. So that's education system in India. We know in the beginning how it was. So we have heard a lot about Gurukula system. So anyone who needs to learn, who is aspiring to learn, they can reach the guru, and the guru will teach his child whatever he wants. It may be language, it may be holy scriptures, it may be science from mathematics to metaphysics. And the student will stay along with the guru until the guru thinks that whatever he know, he had taught the child, and then they can leave that place and enter into the common society. So all the learning was closely linked to nature and to life, and not confined to memorizing some information. So this was our early education system. And with this setup, actually, even in long back in 8th century itself, that 8th century BC itself, we had some universities in our country. So while most of other country people were tribes, we were running university in the 8th century BC itself. So this was in the same setup. And we know that Gupta dynasty, which was from 320 to 520 AD, is considered as age of innovations. So in this period, so lots of innovations came out, and we know the numeric system originated in Gupta era, and top scientists of Gupta era, the Varahami, Mihira, Aryabhatta, Shushruta, they all were during the Gupta era. So Shushta's surgical equipments are very famous, and he's a father of modern surgery. And even the crocodile forceps is used even today in surgeries. So such wonderful people and scientists all evolved during this Gupta era. And in the same time, the Gupta era in 4th century, the Nalanda University shows the heights of Indian education system. So we were like this flourishing in education and innovations once upon a time. And see here that this image shows the two major routes of entry into India from west. Actually, these entry routes shaped India's history. So Afghan invader that Muhammad bin Khilji actually destroyed this university. Actually, it was destroyed thrice and rebuilt twice. And it was partially restored and functioned till 1400 CE. So this was the early education system in India. So later on, British people entered India and education system went to a different channel. So I can say how British people work actually. So I can give an example. So when we were working for geographical indication for Kodaikanal, Malai Pontu along with TNSCST, we went through so many literature written by British. So when they are entering into southern part, they want a hill station actually for skipping their summer, hot summer, which they couldn't withstand. So Britishers are sending some people to find out the statistical information or the geographical information or the climatic conditions to just find out the exactly about the Kodaikanal hills. They are sending some officials. So they come here and they are writing a report. They say about how much population is there, how much cattle is there, how the caste system, how the cultivation is there. So like this, they everything they write, and additionally they have written. So actually, this climatic condition prevailing in Kodaikanal is very excellent in such a way that we can cultivate even potatoes and carrots here. We can have these crops get more yield because of the climatic exactly prevailing. The climate is very suitable for carrot and potatoes. But already the people are cultivating rice, barley, wheat, garlic, so like this. So what is the thing we can do? So he's planning. So initially they are making a plan how to overcome this and how to make the situation suitable for them, for their profit. So they are writing, we have to give this potatoes and carrot for cultivation, and we have to hike the price of potatoes and carrots. And garlic, it should be cheaper than potatoes and carrots. So automatically the farmers, they will prefer cultivating potatoes and carrots. So how cleverly they are planning for each and everything. So similarly, they planned the education system in India because they want people to work under them, but they have to. So this education system what we had is not suitable for them. So actually this East India Company, the education system was a hot topic, and actually they made some policies so that they can advance the knowledge of Indians and employ that knowledge in the East India Company. So for this purpose, now they are trying some new education system in India. And actually they brought so many teacher education schools, teacher training schools, and they increased government colleges, vernacular schools, high schools, everything for their benefit. So see here, they are set up in universities here from 1857. They set up universities. It was established, modeled on the University of London. So in their country, how the university setup is, same way they are setting universities here, and priority was given for English education. So what they did actually, this man behind this one is Macaulay, and he is the person, the key person giving the exact picture. So if English is brought, given priority, and we are training the people, they can work for us. This idea was given by him, it is proposed by him. And the modern subjects like science and mathematics they introduced, and they considered metaphysics and philosophy is unnecessary for Indians, and unnecessary for this clerical jobs, and they cancelled these all things, and teaching was confined to classroom, and the link with the nature was completely broken. And close relationship between the teacher and students was also got restricted in this modern education system, which was introduced by British. So now the current education system, so this picture many might have seen, is like this. So there is a same exam for everyone. So there is no, it is not seeing its potential or the need what they actually need. And it is not, in spite of that, for everyone, the same exam is there and they are tested. Everyone asked to perform the same exam and tested based on that. So it is not a fair system, we know that. But anyway, this is our current scenario. Only the good thing what they left behind. So that was not at that time, but anyway, for current scenario, this is a good thing what they have left after collapsing our well-flourished education system was their language. Today, we are using. So ours the second largest English-speaking population in the world, next to USA. So language, this English is language of international trade and business. So 10% of population, our population is able to speak in English, but China less than 5%. So this is the advantage what they have left behind. So now we'll come into the current picture now. So we know how we were, how innovative we were, but how our education system has changed. But now again, talking about education has gained more importance because for past 2 decades, we were talking about a topic called demographic dividend. So today, this demographic dividend is very serious issue, and education during this demographic dividend is very, very crucial. So if the education system, what we are having is suitable for clerical jobs remains the same, it is not going to work out. If we are not handling this situation and education properly during this demographic dividend period, it will become a demographic disaster. So we cannot rise after that. So India should be very, very careful and it have to play its cards wisely so that everybody should understand this and how to work for this and how to contribute for this. So before entering the major things, let me see what is demographic dividend is. So demographic dividend occurs when a proportion of working population is high in a country. So when working population is high, more potential production will occur and will in turn contribute national economy. So according to United Nations National Population Research, so for last 4 decades, Americans were major beneficiaries of this demographic dividend and China enjoyed it since 1960s. So World Bank of Global Development reports says due to one-child policy adopted by China, the situation has now reversed. Average age of China is now well past 40s. It is going to cross 40s, nearing 40s, and it's going to cross 40s. In Japan and USA, due to low birth rate and low mortality rate, their average rate is 47 and 41 respectively. So in Japan, it is 47 and then US, it is 41. So they have also crossed 41. The average age has crossed 41. Europe, it is 46. And see here this example in Thailand, actually in 1960. So for demographic dividend, I'm giving this example. So in Thailand in 1960, their population was 27 million. Actually, the average birth per woman was 6 children. And they have to invest a lot. And what they did in 1990s, they started adapting family planning and their average of children became 2 per woman. So in 2010, actually, the age structure transformed and the less number of small age group was there so that they could able to give good education and healthy environment to them. And so that in 2010, they had dominated healthy working adults. So they were empowered with the right to education, to whom they can marry, when to have children, everything they had, and they started flourishing. So this is the story of Thailand, and I think you could understand about demographic dividend and why we are talking this here now. So this 21st century is giving an offer in front of us Indians. We have to understand about this, and the change in education is going to bring opportunities to make a difference. See, this graph will show that very clearly. The median age of total population of China and India is compared here. See here the average age of China. So in 2010-20, they are nearing 40s. But see here the India, it is different. So but when in next decades, we can see they will be nearing 50s, and there will be a quite older population in China. But in case of India, we can see just we are nearing 30. We have not even touched 30. So next 3 decades, it will be the young population will be there, and after that, it may also enter into older population. But next 30 years are very, very crucial to India and very important to India. So we are entering this um, demographic dividend while the whole world is aging. The average age of Indian is now 29. The youth constitute 28.5% of total population, and International Labour Organization says that 160 million people are in the age group starting to work in India, where 94 million in China and 17 million in US. So I think you can understand number of educational institutions, so that the expansion we have done, that it's the right sense we have done, and it is even it is not sufficient, it is still going on, it is expanding. We have 1,000 universities and 40,000 colleges across the country, but the British left us with 26 universities, 700 colleges, 4 lakh students in higher education with 16% of literacy. But today we have this many colleges and universities with 20 million students in higher education and 77.7% of literacy. So even though there are dropouts, the annual status of education report says that 96.5% of rural children 6 to 12 age are enrolled. So that is a good sign. India's average enrollment ratio is 95%, and gross enrollment ratio in higher education in 2019 is 26.3%. So this is all possible. It was possible by various articles of Indian Constitution and Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act 2009. So we have made it till the literacy rate 77.7. Still ways to go. Slow and steadily we are improving in that aspect. But here comes the next issue, is unemployment. So in 2021, this is the status of unemployment by the education level. So nearly 32% we are having focusing as the figures say that 32% are unemployed. So what is the thing there is we are lacking in excellence. So in 2005 and 2006, IIT, IIM and Jawaharlal Nehru University came in world's top 200 universities. 6 IITs and Birla Institute of Technology and Science were listed among top 20 science and technology schools in Asia, reported by Asia Week in 2000. But now, what is the scenario? In actually current scenario, there is no Indian university ranking among the world's top 250 institutions. So how pathetic it is. When this is the case, what about the average education in India? So when IITs and IIMs or Jawaharlal University couldn't come under the rank in the top 250 institutions, just imagine about the average education level in India. So in 210 actually, so there is, so how is the average education? These many people are coming out. So graduates from technical college were 5,50,000. In 2011, it increased to 7 lakhs. But 75% of technical graduates And 85% of general graduates, they lack skill for employability. So this is the next issue in front of us. There is no skill matching education. There are skill trained people, but there is no job available for that skill. Same way, jobs are available, but no people with desired skill for that. This is the current scenario. And list of top 4,000 scientists across the globe was released, and we could find only one Indian scientist living in India. But in case of China, 200 Chinese scientists were there in the list, and they were living in China. So just imagine the difference what we have. So for 1.39 billion of people, we have only one IIC in India, but we need hundreds of IICs like that to match everything. We have to attract best talents to research, but that is also lacking. So, என்ன problem பாருங்க. I couldn't move the slide. Hang ஆயிருக்கு. Why is there someone
சரிங்க. ஹலோ ப்ரோ சார். ஹலோ
என்ன முடிஞ்சா? உஷா ராஜா நந்தினி ஓவரா?
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணவா நானும்?
கோமதி
ஹலோ
வெயிட் மினிட்ஸ் சார்.
சார் ஏதோ சின்ன
ரோசன் வேதிராஜன் கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க.
ரைட் ஓகே.
இல்ல மேம், நான் மியூட் பண்ணிட்டு அன்மியூட் பண்ணேன்.
கோமதி என்னாச்சு முடிஞ்சா மேடம்?
சார் அவங்க சைடுல சின்ன ஆடியோ கிளிச்சஸ் சார். ஆடியோ ஏதோ சின்ன ப்ராப்ளம் சார். நான் மேம் கிட்ட போன்ல பேசிட்டு இருக்கோம் சார். ஜஸ்ட் 2 minutes சார்.
Can I start?
1 minute. Wait.
Okay. So good evening.
கோமதி,
Sir,
என்ன மேடம் என்னாச்சு? அவங்க இன்னும் ஃபினிஷ் பண்ணல இல்ல?
இன்னும் finish பண்ணல சார்.
ஆ,
ஏதோ சின்ன ப்ராப்ளம் நெட்வொர்க் கட் ஆயிடுச்சு மேம், ஒரு ஆடியோ ப்ராப்ளம் ஆயிடுச்சு சார்.
சரி, இவர் சார ஆரம்பிச்சு விட்டுருவோமா? இவங்க முடிச்ச உடனே அவங்க ஃபைனலா கன்க்ளூடிங் பண்ண சொல்லிடலாமா?
சரிங்க சார்.
ஆ,
ஓகே சார்.
சரி. நீங்க ஜஸ்ட் ஒரு 2 லைன்ல சுருக்கமா சொல்லி அவரை ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி விட்டுருங்க. இல்ல நானே வெல்கம் பண்ணிடவா?
ஓகே சார். எனக்கு மிஸ் பண்ணு.
Sir.
ஆ?
Sir.
மேடம், எஸ் ப்ளீஸ்.
Sir, ஒரு 5 minutes தான் சார்.
ஓகே, கேரி ஆன். வேதராஜன் சார் கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க, ஒரு 5 minutes.
No issue. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க மேடம்.
Okay. கேக்குதா?
Audible.
கல்ல ஷேரிங் இருக்கா?
Yes.
Okay.
ஸ்லைட்ஸ் விசிபிளா இருக்குங்க.
It's okay. So we are not able to attract the best talents to research. So we have a rote learning over research, and we don't have environment for innovation. The children of 6 to 7 are introduced to science as not as fun, as a test course and Olympiads. In high school, the learning relevant only to college exams. So in high schools, the learning pattern itself is for preparing for college exams. So like centers in places like Kota of Rajasthan have recipes for passing tests like JEE and NEET. So everywhere every year it is estimated that 1.5 to 2 lakh students are approaching this institutions across India. And across India, it is a trend. So everywhere in Kerala or Chennai, we are having the same trend. And colleges, if we consider colleges, the race of placements, and most students end in this job. Innovations are limited to PPTs, and career is shaped in grids of Excel sheets, actually. And see here the statistics, number of people getting into research is very, very low compared to other countries. And actually we are very good. Our brains are full of innovations, our gene is with innovation. And India is a universe of frugal innovations. There is low cost innovations, just modifying and bringing a low cost technology for the high tech problems. And already existing problems, they can modify and give it. So this is the thing we are expert in. And Indians are doing good innovations out of India. So what it shows us, we are having it in our gene pool, but we couldn't succeed in our education system. So after the Nobel Prize received by Sir C.V. Raman, we had 4 Nobel Prize received by 4 Indians after independence. So see here they are, but none are residents of India. So pathetic. So they can achieve out of our education system. And you see the patents, the file in 2015 actually it is India ranked 48th in Global Innovation Index in 2020 and 64th in creative outputs. So we are having everything. The gene is in such a way that we can come out with innovations, but we are in safe side. We need a safe job and we are not ready to take risks. So the Forbes survey says that 90% of Indian startups will fail lack of innovations. And India is also spending very less amount compared to other countries for this purpose, for innovations and R&D purpose. Actually, the education system, the modern education system has killed creativity. In Silicon Valley, the heads of innovation centers, R&D centers are Indians, but their education again is in abroad. So Indians, it all proves that Indians can succeed out of our education system. We have some problem in our education system. So see here, this is all COEs, but their education was away from our country. Report says that half of the first rank holders in 10th and 12th board exams from 1996 to 2015 have migrated abroad. The skill group also has migrated from our country. The US National Center for Biotechnology Information says that India is the biggest exporter of doctors. So India is losing doctors, engineers, entrepreneurs, skilled human resources, all to other countries. So see here, there is US is having, America is having 1 doctor for 1,325 Americans, but in India, Indians are having 1 doctor for 2,400 Indians. So how pathetic the situation is. So there is the migrants, the educated migrants moving away from India is increasing day by day. And it is because the pay in academic sector, it is 6 times higher. In IT sector, 2 times higher than Indian wages. In management, it is 3 times higher. So because of this, actually, we are limited to innovative capacities, reduced economic growth, and manpower. So because of this, Niti Aayog introduced innovation index. So it's all initiatives. India is inviting foreign investments, Make in India program, subsidies for startups. So grow more. We are going to help you. The Indian government is saying, and GST is consolidated several state and federal taxes into one. And overall, the wages also should be considered to prevent all the above problems. And digital transformation also occurred in our country. So many good percentage is able to access internet and computers and even digitalization program in purchase and marketing. But what we need is a paradigm shift. So education, the teaching methodology should change, and it should concentrate on sunshine areas like the 5G, solar, or hydrogen, batteries, such things they have to concentrate. And if we are concentrating, this not happen like what we actually lose during mobile growth was there. So India had to concentrate in the missing links like infrastructure, service, based education with skills to suit new age generation jobs. So this all should be considered. And same way, this equity also. Equality, British left with 16% literacy, in which females were 8.9%. That is 1 by 11 women population was unable to read and write. In 14 to 15 survey showed the rise to 62%, and now it is 70.3%. Still, 1 by 3rd of the women population in India is unable to read and write. So this unemployed women, the female participation is also a problem here that also should be considered. India can't make a progress what it is expecting with 1/5 of half the young population is going to be unemployed in workforce. So while welcoming the factories into India, women also should participate. So women should participate in manufacturing sector too. So new growth models can be achieved only when women also is taking part. So this graph shows how the level of participation of women is. It's very low. And see here the example can quote with Bangladesh. So Bangladesh and in India. So how this drop is there in India and how hike is there in Bangladesh, and more than 36% of women are engaged in labor force, but in India it is dropping and it has dropped further even due to this pandemic situation. And because of this, they have crossed the GDP per capita of India. Bangladesh has crossed the GDP of India. And this is also a very important thing to consider while considering demographic dividend. The CNCA, a non-profit organization, made a survey in gender equity in schools and colleges, 11 state capitals, and found that gender discrimination is widespread and deep-rooted. 54% agree that role of women is to take care of children and household, nothing else. 44% agree that women has no choice to accept the violence what is thrown on them. So the highlight is the equal number of girls agree. Even the educated girls are just internalizing the stereotype and accepting their given status in society. So education no way is making them more critical. So this survey was in urban educated youth. Then just think about millions of youth dropouts and uneducated. So if the educated youth is singing like this, how will be the other side? So Tamil Nadu actually has second largest GDP, highest female participation in workforce. In October, actually last October, Ola started a manufacturing unit fully run by women. So breaking the myth that male are necessarily needed for productivity. So breaking that, they have started a fully run by women along with robots. So likewise, reform should occur in all states throughout the country. So, and again, very important thing. So when you are saying this skilled workforce without democratic citizens, it will be a demographic disaster again. So while having education, the education also not only develop the skill, but also develop democratic citizens. Democratic citizenship has become very rare and endangered nowadays. So this should be given due importance in education. So with active, caring, humane, vigilant, responsible, politically active, the commitment to societal justice, societal equality, harmony, and also ecological conservation. So this all makes a democratic citizen, and education should impart these things also, because skilled workforce without democratic citizenship will lead to democratic disaster. So keeping all this mind, we have to need revitalization of civic education. It should be very interesting. We have to revamp our NSS programs, eco clubs, and innovative programs, and live democracy everywhere, wherever applicable. We have to live democracy, and the constitution should be considered as holy, and because it is binding everyone. And considering all these in mind, the government with strong policies and schemes to face this demographic dividend, that already we have started facing it, but we need more strong, wiser, and successful decisions to be made. And each one should realize this. We have stepped into demographic dividend. We are having the largest population with a working force. So our education, our skill, everything should match this, so that the education actually is the trump card India is having. Investing in education can bring opportunities, which is going to make difference. So parents, everyone have to have this in mind. So the education is, it should not be equal to everyone. So it is all, if it is implemented and if we understand everything and we cooperate for in all aspects, we can say to the world strongly, coming years are ours. So next 3 decades we are having in our hand. Wisely, India have to use it in education. We have to adapt it in education. Parents have to realize, the young minds have to realize, and if we work combined with the government, we can really achieve this and become a really strong nation, and we can really say the world we are coming, and the coming years are ours. So thank you for listening. And the next 30 years, the 3 decades are going to be ours. The youth, young mind who are all listening to this, I think you can spread it to many numbers and make them understand the situation the India is facing, and the offer given to India in this 21st century will be, this opportunity will be rightly used for making a difference. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, madam, for your thought-provoking speech. Now I request Dr. C. Vedirajan, without any further delay, I request him to deliver his speech. Over to you, sir. Please.
Thank you, madam. Good evening to everybody. At the outset, most respected Member Secretary Professor Srinivasan sir, Member Secretary, Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, and esteemed colleagues of this Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology. Good evening to one and all. So today we are celebrating International Day of Education on the main theme of changing course, transforming education. Friends, I have an opportunity to choose my topic, building education together for a better future. The importance of education, why we have been mostly unsuccessful in helping children meet learning outcomes. A common theory is that it is due to a lack of money. If we offer more money and attract more talented people to teaching, will we have chance? While some countries like India and Europe countries don't spend enough on education, even big spenders do not see meaningful importance and also improvements. The real reason is that education fails in its purpose is that education practice today is not based on cognitive research. Over the past decades, learning science has taught us about how the brain learns, what teachers think causes learning, and what students feel causes learning after is not true. Our education practice is not learning science based. It still relies on obstacles. The practices such as lectures, to transmit information and a correct and strict policy to motivate children. Trying to improve education without addressing this root problem means that we are investing in scaling an architecture that is fundamentally wrong and therefore creating even more inertia to moving towards your learning science-based education model. Friends, the impact on education. Here, there are three ways which learning science can impact education. The curriculum-based spiraling. Today, curricula are mostly linear, like checklist. Each topic is done and then we move to the next. When exams comes, students should not remember important ideas because they have been done just once. But learning science shows that when we revisit important ideas multiple times, children understand and remember them much better. This is called spiraling curriculum and improvements, spaced repetition of key ideas. By using technology to redesign the curriculum, we can now integrate more such models quickly and track their impacts. Friends, the importance of education, proper for good education, is very important for all of us. It facilitates the quality of learning all through this life among people of any age group, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, and region. It is the process of achieving knowledge, values, skills, beliefs, and moral habits. People need to get high level awareness about the importance of knowledge more than before. Education is very necessary for each and everyone in order to improve knowledge, way of living, as well as social and economic status throughout the life. Getting proper education is the birthrights of everyone, restricting which is the crime. Education is the ultimate way to get victory over all the personal and social problems. Education is very important to all of us. It plays very important roles in our life. In order to live a better and peaceful life, we need to be educated and transform us, completing from inside and outside by changing our minds and personality as well as improving our confidence level. It changes our life completely as it is constructive in nature. It helps a person to get knowledge and improve confidence level all through this life. It play a great role in our career growth as well as the personal growth. It has no limitation about the people of every age group can get education, everything. It helps to determine good citizen in the society as well as this part of this knowledge is based on their want to see our kids going towards success, which is only possible through the good and proper education. Every parents tells their kids from childhood about the importance of education in the life and all the advantages of education to make their mind towards better study in the future. Make your kids and children capable of writing essays, participates in debates, quiz program, seminar, conference, workshop, and discussions, many more skills enhancing the knowledge towards developing their attitude of education at school level as well as college level. So we require something is more important about for this education system. We have the importance of education in our country progress. Number one, education helps people become better citizens. Number two, education shows the importance of voting. Education helps in getting jobs. Education helps single mothers. Education helps reduce poverty. Education utilize inequality. Education helps economic growth. So these are some importance of education in a country in a progress. Next, ancient education system in India, a way of life. In ancient India, both formal and informal way of education system exist. Indigenous education was imparted at home, in temples, in temples, and gurukulas. There were people in homes, villages, and temples who guided young children in imitating types of way of life. Temples were also the center of learning and look interest in the promotion of knowledge of our ancient system. Students went to vigorous and universities for higher education knowledge, for enhancing their fruitful knowledge through the learning center like universities, colleges. Teaching was largely oral and students remembered and meditated upon what was taught in the class. Gurukulas, also known as ashram, were the residence places of learning. Many of these were named after the places situated in forests, in serene and peaceful surroundings. Hundreds of students used to learn Hello. The main objective was to be have complete learning, leading a disciplined life and realizing one's inner potential. The students lived away from their homes for years together till they achieved their goals. The Gurukuls was also the place where the relationship of the Guru and Shishya strengthened with the time, while pursuing their education in different disciplines like history, arts, social sciences, art of debates, law, medicine, agriculture, etc. And also to emphasize on the outer of dimensions of discipline, but also for enrichedness of inner dimensions of the personality, and also around this vigorous other educational centers of higher learning developed, which attracted students from China, Korea, Tibet, Burma, Ceylon, Java, Nepal, and other distant countries and universities. Takshashila or Texas. In ancient times, Takshashila was a noted center of learning, including religious teaching of Buddhism for several countries and centers. It continued to attract students from around the world until its destruction in the 5th century. It was known for its higher education, and the curriculum comprised the study of ancient scriptures, law, medicine, astronomy, military science, and the 18 Silpas or arts. Takshashila becomes famous as a place of learning due to its teacher experience. Among its noted people were famous as a place of learning due to its teachers' expertise, and the Indian grammarians, he was an expert in language and grammar, and authored one of the greatest works on grammar called Shivaha, one of the most renowned physician in the ancient India, that is called Chanakya, also known as Kausalya. The Kautilya, a skilled exponent of statecrafts, both studied here. Students come to the Takshashila from Kashi, Kosala, Magadha, and also from the other countries. In spite of the long and arduous journey they had to undertake. Takshashila was an ancient Indian city which is now the northwestern Pakistan. It is an important archaeological site, and UNESCO declared it to be the World Heritage City site in 1980. Its firm rested on the university where Chanakya is said to have composed its Arthashastra. Archaeologist Alexander discovered its reign in this mid-19th century. The role of the teacher. Teachers had complete autonomy in all aspects, from selection of students to designing their syllabi. When the teacher was satisfied with the performance of the students and course concluded, he would admit as many students as he liked and taught what his students were keen to learn. Debate and discussions were the primary methods of teaching. Teachers were assisted by their advanced level students. The role of community. The time the knowledge was considered scared and sacred, and no fee was charged. Contribution towards education were considered the highest form of domination. All members of the society contributed in some form or the other. Financial support came from rich merchants, wealth, parents, and society. Besides gifts of building, the universities received gifts of land. This form of free education was also prevalent in other ancient universities like Vallabhai, Vikramshila, and Jagatala. At the same time, in the south of India, Akrasas served as center of learning and teaching. South Indian kingdoms also had other cultural institutions known as Kadika and Brahmapuri. A Kadika was a center of learning, including religion, and was small in size. it is a picture institution, a whole settlement of learned fragments with its own power of government and was maintained by generous donations from the society. Temples, Madas, Jain, Padasis, and Buddhist viharas also existed as other sources of learning during this period. Next, the contribution of Indian education system. Indian education system continue in the form of ashramas in temples as the indigenous schools. During the medieval period, maktabas and madrasas becomes part of the education system. During the pre-colonial period, indigenous education flourished in India. This was an extension of the formal education and also for taking this liberty, and system was mostly for religious and spiritual form of education. New education, the way of educating the future generations. We need to complete, reimagine education practice. Instead of learning to memorize facts and figures, students need to learn, how to solve the problems. We need to completely reimagine education. Instead of learning to memorize facts and figures, students need to learn how to learn. So how to solve the problems, and they should be allowed to learn independently. Changes are needed at every level. You have to infuse things like entrepreneurship into the curriculum, because with the distribution that's going on, many people are going to have create their own jobs. We may end up in the world in which people are more likely to be autonomous contractors than to have a secure job lasting for a lifetime. We need to completely reframe the system of education based on where the world is going, instead of contributing to do the same thing over and again. Education used to be one shot game. Now it has to be lifelong game, and you do not just to get educated once. You need to go in between learning and work. You have to bring professionals into classroom to teach. You have to work the projects for real organization, and also for helping for beginning for the education system for future generations. Next, new way of educating the future generation. We need to completely reimagine the education practice. Instead of learning to memorize facts and figures, students need to learn how to learn and how to solve the problem. We should bring the working world into education a lot, and earlier take education into working world. So we should have taking these facts working world into education a lot earlier, and take education in the world work. The most important aspect is corporate social responsibility in education. So corporate social responsibility in education has always taken the lion's share of the funding. Although there is a bigger focus on health projects due to the COVID-19 pandemic, funding CSR in education is still top priority for Indian companies. We look at the latest sustainability reports and annual declarations. Access to quality education is fundamental to the growth of India. And India Inc., the top 10 companies funding CSR in education. So Reliance Industries, rupees 526.66 crores, and NDPC rupees 132.03 crores, DPRO rupees 123.52 crores, and Infosys is rupees 95.25 crores, and Tata Steel rupees 66.52 crores, Hindustan Zinc rupees 51.4 crores, HDFC Bank rupees 48 crores, Housing Development Finance Corporation Limited rupees 44.26, Mahindra and Mahindra rupees 40 plus crores for contributing the CSR activities in the education. Next, how CSR activities are changing the space of Indian education. So, friends, education is the backbone of every society in this world. But the matter of most of the quality education, which is still remain this dream of for many. So, several private organizations are joining hands with the governments to make what they want to require to fulfill these requirements, because of the dreams of offering quality education in Indian come true. Out of 260 million students enrolled in school and colleges in India, there are only few what get quality education with good teachers and teaching aids. So how the CSR activities are changing the face of Indian education? Joining hands to give away books, from infrastructure to scholarships, smart initiatives, making students industry ready, creating on army of educators, building center of excellence, delivering empowerments, education beyond the schools. Before to conclusion, we have things to learn. Science research shows that when we revisit important ideas multiple times, children understand and remember them much better. What I want to required the mastery learning model. Today, we budget as a fixed amount of time for topic and move on to what next, whether learning has been accomplished or not. So this is timetable based approach, but the reality is that the students will have gap in their understanding and accumulate and lead to loss of interest in later classes as they move to more advanced topics. The learning science often to mastery learning model, which allow the teacher to understand the accumulating gaps and put in place a structure to help fill them. One way is by having separate online spaces for synonymous and synonymous learning. A coach became more like a facilitator who observed the child in both spaces, identify the gaps, and spend time with each to bridge those things. Teaching to learn. It is most important today. We have we tell the students that their job is to be learned, but we don't teach them how learn work. For example, most people don't know that reading a storybook requires a different techniques from reading a textbooks. They don't know how the muscle of long-term memory is built or how to improve concentration over times. So this is most important, because this lack of understanding is why many children tend to practice rote learning and and they have to take fall to apply concept in the real world. Over the last decade, online education has mainly tried to package self-study content for the same old school syllabus, or tried to provide for taking for foundations tests the preps content for competitive exams. But in the coming decades, we will be using technology not to replicate of design learning experience from the first principle of cognitive research and provide up-to-date knowledge, social skills, and learning mindsets. If we succeed in the next 10 years, we will build the education system and the next generation can truly be grateful for. So this is the message what we want to say. This International Day of Education today we are celebrating. Students, you have to rethink for this case of online education because of technology in education nowadays. We have to motivate the students not only for that city, in urban, semi-urban, rural, semi-rural students. They are learning instead of that offline mode. They are having this online mode. They are ready to prepare for to rethink for that online education. Technology should be used because redesign the learning experience not only for the teachers, even students also to ready to prepare themselves and based on that cognitive research, not to replicate offline experience of online. So this is the things we required because of the learning, learn technology to learn, teaching to learn. Today we have big challenges, and then we are facing the students are, strongly to building this education for better future, for together for better future. Students to ready to have for taking that much of information and used for the power of innovative teachers and all these innovations we need for today, and many of them learning through this online mode. Those students are also ready to do for learn for this online mode education because of the trend will be changed now. So post secondary and curriculum globalization, and because of the daughter LBG, we have to so many transformation thinking system, rethinking system, and innovative practices we have ready to move forward position. In future also, the students are ready to take the challenges for facing all this problem because of the COVID pandemic situation, outbreak all over the world. Even though students are ready to for this education system through this online, even examination also online, because this education also to the history of fostering positive and social changes, and we have to gain knowledge, skills, and experience to help you both in your career in general. So on the top, by gaining additional skills for communications and problems, we have to take that much of challenges because of the building educations together for better future for this students community. Not only for that, engineering students, even medicines, agri, arts and science college students, even and from this the root cost from primary school to higher secondary school, students are ready to prepare for their education and facing the challenges. And because of the technologies, for many of the students now is learning online course, and the massive open online course also. There are people, are students are very deliberately to learn through this e-learning system nowadays, students are ready to learn for these prospects, uh, taking these challenges and the prospects of the students. So we have to building this because of the changing this system, technological system. So that is a very opt today. The government of India for insisting for celebrating, changing course and transforming the education, the transformation of education nowadays. Definitely the students to be reached all over the globe, and the curricula also to be changed. For it depends upon industry based, institution based, not only for that school level, even higher secondary, higher education level, university level, system will be changed based on that what they want required. Based on that, the syllabi also to be changed. And transforming for education, changing the courses also. New courses are introduced. Many of the university they are offering that what is say um, artificial intelligence, big data, that data, data analytic. So many, universities and colleges, they are offering a MBA program for data analytic. So this based on that demand of the, industry. So they are offering these courses because of transferring this education, changing these courses nowadays. So the students will be, I hope students will be more, getting more benefit and for their prospective and career. So this is I would like to give this message to the young and budding learning students to get this gaining knowledge for this wonderful day. And I thank this opportunity, this our member secretary, respected Professor Srinivasan, for giving me this opportunity to take act as a resource person for this topic, building education for better future students, together for better future students. I am very much thankful to the, Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology and office bearers and administrative staff. Thank you very much.
So much, sir, for your wonderful talk. Now I request Ms. Hema, Project Scientist, to deliver the vote of thanks. Good evening. All good evening. No duty is more urgent than returning thanks. On behalf of Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology, it is a great honor and privilege for me to deliver the vote of thanks during this wonderful event of the celebration of International Day of Education 2022. Let me start by giving glory to the Almighty for making today's occasion a resounding success. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our most respected and esteemed speakers, Dr. A. Usha Rajanandini, Professor and Head, Department of Biotechnology, Mother Teresa Women's University, Kodaikanal, and Professor C. Baby Rajan, Professor and Head, Department of Corporate Secretaryship, Allahabad University, Karaikudi, for taking time out their busy schedule to grace this occasion with their inspirational words. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you. I sincerely thank our Honorable Member Secretary, Dr. R. Srinivasan, who is such a caring, supportive, and source of inspiration, motivation for taking such a vibrant initiative for the successful contact for this program. I am grateful to Dr. A. Ramanan, Scientific Officer, TNSCST, for providing his constant support and valuable guidance in coordinating the webinar to make it such a successful one. I extend my thanks
to Ms. Gomadi Padmapilaha, Scientist B, for giving me a continuous support and mentorship. Thank you, ma'am. My hearty thanks to Tamil Nadu State Council for Science and Technology and my dear colleagues for their contribution in technical support for the event. Last but not least, I would like to express my deep sense of gratitude to all the participants for their active participation, and we expect your continued involvement in all our future endeavors. The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice. Once again, I convey my best wishes to all on the occasion of the International Day of Education 2022. Thank you one and all. Dear participants, we have posted the feedback link in the chat box. Kindly give your feedback and get your certificates. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. See you. Okay. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.